All right, guys. So today I'm gonna teach you guys a new lesson on what I like to call scatter plot stories. It's similar to a lesson that we did earlier in the year with function stories, where you're given a scenario and you got to interpret that scenario. And like the function stories, we had to interpret the scenario and compare it to a graph. But in this case, this situation, what you're doing is they're giving you a scenario. Let me see if it scrolls down, and you got to be able to interpret to either tell me that it's a positive relationship, a negative relationship, or no relationship. All right. So that's what we're talking about. Just like with scatter plots, we had a positive scatter plot, a negative scatter plot, and a no correlation. This is the same thing. Now, one of the things I like to do when I do this lesson is I read the scenario and I ask that. So ask this question: does it have a positive, negative, or no effect on each other? That's going to be the key, whether it has a positive, a negative, or no effect on the situation. Okay. If you figure that out, that's going to be perfect. All right. So let's look at the first one. All right. So we got the length of a side of an equilateral triangle and the perimeter of a triangle. Okay. So this is testing some of your vocabulary a little bit. All right. You can remember an equilateral triangle means a triangle where all the sides are equal. So if I have an equilateral triangle with the side of 3, every side is going to be 3. Okay. Now they got the word perimeter here. So perimeter just means when you add up all 3 sides, what's that total going to be? So let's use my example again. All right. So if I have a equilateral triangle of 3, my perimeter is going to be 3 plus 3 plus 3, which is going to be 9. So in that case, my perimeter for that one is 9. But let's say I have an equilateral triangle of 4. So all sides are 4. So it's going to be 4 plus 4 plus 4. That means my equilateral, my perimeter of that triangle is going to be 12. So going back to this example, length of the side of an equilateral triangle and the perimeter of the triangle. Let's think about that relationship. All right. The bigger the side of our triangle, the bigger our perimeter. So that means that it has a positive effect on each other. Okay. So if it has a positive effect on each other, then we're looking at a situation that's going to perform, or if we put it on a scatter plot, it's going to create a positive scatter plot or a positive relationship. Okay. Pretty simple. Like I said, ask that question. Does it have a positive, negative, or no effect? If it has that, then you got the answer right away. All right, let's look at the second one. Okay. This one says day of the week and the temperature. Now let's think about this. If we just took a specific, we're talking about just in general, okay? I know you can look up today and look up this week, and it might say 79 on or 79 on Monday and 83 on Tuesday and 85 on Wednesday and so forth. So that's just coincidental. Okay. In reality, the day of the week does not matter, or it does not have any type of relationship or effect on the temperature. Okay. We live in North Carolina. The temperature goes up and down like crazy. Monday it can be 73 degrees, and then Tuesday it can be 56. And then by the end of the week it's back up to 80. So there's no relationship there. There's no effect. So that means if we put this on a graph, in general, there's going to be no relationship or no correlation or no effect. Okay. All right. Let's look at the next one. All right. Temperature outside and ice cream sales. Okay. All right. Let's look at it. So let's say it's 40 degrees outside. Are you more likely to get ice cream if it's 40 degrees outside? No. But let's say it's 90 degrees outside. You're more than likely to get some ice cream. If it's 70 degrees outside, you're less likely to get it than you were if it was 90. So the hotter the temperature, the more likely you're going to get some ice cream. So that temperature is going to have a positive effect on your ice cream sales. So that means it's going to form a positive relationship. Or if you drew a scatter plot with all this data, it's going to form a positive scatter plot. Okay. All right, let's look at this next one. All right. Amount of playing time and points scored in a basketball game. Now they're just talking about in general and retrospective. They're not saying, okay, you got some players that get in the game and uh, don't shoot any shots. They've been in the game, but they don't shoot any shots. Then technically there's no relationship. However, we're just looking at your likeliness of scoring more points. So if I'm in the game, the longer I'm in that game, the more likely I'm going to score more points. More likely. So that means my playing time is going to affect how many points I score. Now you get certain situations where you might be like Klay Thompson and score 15, 20 points in 3 minutes. You could be like, I don't know, I can't even think of a real scrub type player, but where you don't score that many points at all. So, I mean, I could see where this could be a no relationship, or I can see where it becomes a positive relationship. So that one's a little bit on the fence. Either way, if it was up to me to grade that, I would take positive, or I would take no correlation, because I could see both arguments. As long as you have an argument for it and it's a valid argument, I can accept it. All right, let's do about two more. All right, grades and the number of hours spent studying. Now, again, it's one of those situations. It's one of those situations where, of course, you have your outliers. You have some folks that's just that smart and gets it that easily to where they can spend an hour and still make good grades. And you have some that don't get it quite as well and spend 4 hours and don't get quite great grades. We're not talking about that. We're just talking about the relationship. Okay. So in reality, if you spend more hours, it should have helped bring up your grade. So spending or your grades are going to have a positive relationship with the amount of hours you spend. Um, that's pretty much with that one. So it has a positive effect. It's going to make a positive relationship, which makes a positive scatter plot. If we would have asked 30 to 40 people that question, how many hours you spend and what's your grades, it should show a positive trend. Okay, it should show a positive trend when we put it on a graph. All right, and then finally, the temperature outside and the amount of clothing you wear. Okay. All right. If it's cold outside, if it's 30 degrees, freezing, you're going to wear a jacket. You might wear a scarf. You're definitely going to wear long pants. You definitely have your underclothes and things like that, your shirt. You're going to have a lot of clothing, but you're not going to wear that clothing when it's 90 degrees outside. 90 degrees outside, you're probably going to be outside, shirt, shorts, still have your underclothes, of course. And then for my ladies, you'll probably be out there with shirt and your leggings, and of course your underclothes. So the hotter the temperature, the less clothing you're going to wear. All right. So that temperature outside versus that amount of clothing is going to have a negative effect, because again, the higher it is, the less you're going to wear. Okay. The hotter it is, the less you're going to wear. So that means it's going to have a negative effect. Okay. So that means if it has a negative effect, that is going to be a negative relationship. And if you make a scatter plot, it's going to be a negative scatter plot. Okay. And you guys saw on the video from today, or from yesterday, sorry, what those scatter plots look like. Okay. So it's just like what we've been doing, sort of like we do with function tables. You're given a scenario and you just got to tell me, is it positive, negative, or no correlation? Okay. You guys will have an activity sort of like this. It'll be posted on Canvas, and you're just doing the same thing. What is the relationship? Is it positive, negative, or no correlation? All right. If you guys have any questions, please, 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 if you have any questions, feel free to jump on Zoom. I'll be right here to answer any questions you have. All right. Hope you guys stay safe, and you guys have a good day.